Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Megan, and I'm with the Illinois Student Assistance Commission, and I am your facilitator for today. I'm joined by a lovely group of panelists. I'm going to share my screen just to talk about what are some things that you need to know as attendees for today's session. And so know that the session is being recorded for you, so you can view this presentation at a later date and time as well. But how do you ask questions during the session? The Q&A feature is located at the bottom of your screen. The panelists will be able to see your questions as they come in. So please ask any questions that you have for our individuals. But know that your camera and microphone are turned off. So while they cannot, while we cannot see you and hear you, you can see us and hear us. But know that you can sign up for more sessions like you did today through the IACAC website. And again, know that the session is being recorded. So I'm going to turn this over to Anna and our panelists, and have a great session, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, and there we go. So now let me share my screen. Okay, and sorry about that. Looks like, one moment, everybody. Okay, so my name is Anna Bradford, and I'll be introducing ourselves on the next slide, but I want to give you a little bit of an introduction and what you can expect for this presentation. We are three of the small public universities here in the state of Illinois. First, we're going to be talking with you a little bit about what it means to be a public university, a little bit of the history about what's unique about public universities here in the state of Illinois, and then also just a little bit of our demographics before we give you some of the more nitty-gritty details of each of our institutions. So looking to our next slide, we'll do a little bit of an introduction. So my name is Anna Bradford. I'm the International Admissions Counselor at the University of Illinois Springfield. I've been with my institution for about 3 years, and now I'll pass it off to Chris if you want to introduce yourself.
Sure. Hello, everybody. I'm Chris Tufflow. I'm the Interim Director of the Office of International Programs at Northeastern Illinois University in Chicago. And I've been at the university as a professor for 12 years and in this role for 3 years. So I can kind of talk from both those perspectives.
And my name is Lisa Schneider, and I'm the Director of Admissions at Governor State University, which is located in University Park, Illinois. I have been at the university for 10 years now, which seems crazy, and in my role for about 6 months.
Great. So for the next few slides, I'm just going to give you a little bit of an introduction. So public, or what are commonly known as state universities, are institutions of higher learning that are funded in part by state governments. That would be why you commonly see in-state versus out-of-state, because a lot of that funding is coming from those who are living in-state anyway. The first public universities in the US were established as early as the 1700s, and the numbers substantially rose as the desire for the United States to increase our national knowledge base by establishing research institutions and making sure that knowledge was publicly available for the public good. So right now, there are about 1,626 different public institutions nationwide. Within the state of Illinois, there are 48 community colleges and 12 public universities. According to data taken from the Illinois Board of Board of Higher Education, Illinois is actually consistently outperforming our peers in other states. So that's something that's really exciting, something we're very proud of. Another thing that's pretty unique to the state of Illinois is a law that is passed called the Truth in Tuition Law that was passed back in 2004. And it requires that all 4 of the 12 public universities within the state of Illinois freeze tuition rates for incoming undergraduate students. So for the first 4 years of your education, if you're a freshman looking to come to a public university here in the state of Illinois, you can expect that the tuition you pay your freshman year is going to be the same tuition that you pay for the entirety of your degree. And that's something pretty exciting. For all students that are coming from other looking for other degrees. So if you're looking to come for a master's, or if you're looking to come for a PhD, don't be worried, because we have that tuition freeze. It's actually really pretty uncommon for the tuition rates to fluctuate a lot. Like I know at my institution, tuition finally changed after 6 years, and it went up a whole 1%. So it's very consistent. It's really one of the positives of having a consistent support and revenue stream from the state. Another thing that Illinois is very proud of is the Illinois Articulation Initiative. What this is an agreement that includes over 100 colleges and universities, and that is an agreement on the core curriculum. So it would be called the general education. Your first 2 years of your degree, English 101, Comp 101, Speech 101, these core courses is an agreement that they will be recognized and transfer very easily between the different institutions here in Illinois. And because of this initiative, Illinois is actually one of the most transfer-friendly states in the nation, with one of the highest completion rates for community college students who are transferring over. So we are very proud of our initiatives to see student success. It's something that we really are very happy as for public institutions. So going to our next slide, you can Google and pull up tons of articles looking at what it means to be at a private versus a public institution. And before I really dive into this, one thing I do want to say is that you'll receive a quality education at any institution that is accredited. So definitely make sure that when you're looking for an institution that you do a quick Google search, see that they have a regional accreditation. In this part of the United States, the Midwest, the regional accreditation would be the Higher Learning Commission. Definitely something that all of us institutions have. But if you're looking at what it means to be private versus public, kind of going back to our first slide where we say the best of both worlds, we'll really highlight here on this slide. These things listed are often the kind of the dividing line of where people say a public institution is this. So public institution is cheaper, a private institution is more expensive, class sizes at a public is more expensive. There are a lot of preconceptions of what that means. At our institutions, none of our student population sizes are over 8,000 students. So while we are public institutions that offer a lot of the opportunities, a lot of scholarships that are able to be provided through grants or funding from the state. I know at our particular institutions, like if you're looking at we have, the community, we have scholarships, merit scholarships that are for students that are looking for low income. There are a lot of different opportunities that are given because we are public institutions. In addition, we have a lot of the different opportunities that are maybe state funded initiatives. If you're looking at my institution, we have a Center for Public Research because we are state funded. Each one of our institutions will have different state funding for different initiatives to serve the needs of their area. Demographics, public institutions are looked at being more diverse, being able to be more accessible. A lot of these are really positives that we're able to bring as public institutions, but we're also able to give you that really small private school feel. Most of the time when you hear about a private institution, it means that you're going to get a lot more attention. At our institutions, you're being able to get that. So looking to our next slide. So in addition to the similarities that I mentioned earlier, just because we are public institutions, some of the other similarities because we are smaller public institutions is that all three of our institutions, we also have rolling admissions and a timeline. That means that we will continue to admit students and we will continue to issue admissions decisions throughout the life cycle. So we have deadlines, advisory deadlines for students. Like, for example, at my institution, if you're seeking an F1 visa, there is an advisory deadline, but even if you pass that, we will be continuing to issue admissions decisions up until the start of the term. So if you're looking for your options, looking to see what's out there, kind of exploring things, just know that we're going to be able to be accessible for you throughout that time. Also, all three of our institutions admit you directly to the institution. So while there are a lot of institutions out there that'll admit you directly to your program, for example, if you're looking for biology, maybe you have to apply directly to that program at that institution. At our institutions, you apply and you're admitted directly to the institution. So that's something that's also pretty consistent for all three of our institutions. If you look at a map, where we have all of our institutions highlighted right here, you'll see that the locations are all really different. And that actually adds a unique flavor to what each of our institutions offer. For example, Governor State University is located in Chicagoland. Northeastern Illinois University is located right in the heart of Chicago. And I'm speaking to you right now from Springfield, Illinois, located right here in the state capital. And because of our locations, there's going to be a lot of different opportunities that you'll be able to explore. With all of that said, we're wanting to go into each of our institutions' unique profiles, so we'll be able to just launch in to a lot more of those details for you. So starting off with Governor State University, I'm going to pass this off to you, Lise.
Okay, thank you so much. So Governor State University was founded in 1969, so we just celebrated our 50th anniversary last year. With that being said, we didn't start accepting freshman students until 2014. So that was the point in which we became a full service 4-year university, accepted our first freshman class, and then it's been history since then. So a lot of times students don't necessarily consider Governor State when they're looking in the state of Illinois, because we haven't really been in that like freshman scene for those whole 50 years that we've been there, but we're happy to be there now. We are located in the Chicago South suburbs, so we're just south of I-80 and to the east of I-57. We have just under 5,000 students enrolled total, and that includes our undergraduate, our graduate, and doctoral programs. So really nice, small, intimate setting here at GSU. We also have a 12-to-1 student-to-faculty ratio, which I'm sure my peers here will talk about that as well. But I'm really proud of our diversity on campus. So we have over 20 different countries represented in our student body. As far as our breakdown of ethnicities on campus, we're about 30% African American, 30% white. We're at about 18% Hispanic, and then most of the rest of that is Asian. So it's a really fun campus because you get to meet people from literally all over the world. We're also situated on 750 acres. So you can kind of see in this picture, it's really like the title says, the best of both worlds, because we're in a country setting. We're actually on established prairie land, but you can hop on a train that's less than a mile away from campus and head into the city. That's 25 to 30 miles away. So that is what I wanted to tell you, some basics about GSU. And I'll hand it over, I think, to Chris. Oh, sorry, I have another slide. My apologies. Okay, so some of our most popular majors. So interdisciplinary studies is our most popular, and that is kind of like a liberal arts major, so it's a build your own program. We also, our top other majors are psychology, business administration, criminal justice, social work, accounting. We have an RN to BSN nursing program, communication, and community health. Our freshman program is really unique in that, like Anna described in the introduction, we don't admit you into a major right off the bat. So we have 7 different focus areas for which you can choose from that will get you close to one of those majors that you might be interested in. And if you don't know what your major is, that's fine. We'll put you into the discovery focus area, which gives you the opportunity to try out different classes your first year and a half and decide what ultimately is going to be your major. Our freshman program is taught by full-time faculty members, which may not mean a lot to you as students in high school, but it means a lot to us because we know that we're giving you really quality education right off the bat. We have very small class sizes. Our English classes, for example, as freshmen are capped at 15. And your other classes go as big as 30. We don't have super large lecture halls on campus. Our biggest lecture hall holds about 100, and it's never at that capacity. So that's a point of pride for us. We wanted to make sure that it's small and intimate, so you can make connections to your faculty as well as your peers. We also have a great peer mentorship component with our freshman program. So you connected with an upperclassman who will kind of help you weave your way through your first year and a half worth of classes, answer any questions that you may not feel comfortable asking your faculty member or a friendly staff member. So, all right, that is all I have for now.
Anna, okay, so I'm going to talk about Northeastern Illinois University, and we're located on the north side of Chicago in the city, but we're in a quiet residential neighborhood, just a train ride to downtown. We're 153 years old, and we're listed as the safest university in Illinois. We're also ranked #1 in social mobility, which means that your earning potential will grow very, very high from your family of origin to what you'll be able to make in your lifetime of career. We are listed as the most diverse campus in the Midwest. We have students from over 100 different countries and just from really pretty much every different ethnic community. We also have very small class sizes. That's one of the virtues of coming to a public a small university, it's kind of like Anna said, the best of both worlds. You're kind of getting the attention that you'd get at a very expensive private school, but you're not having to pay those prices because there's state support for the university. And we're a teaching university. We do not have teaching assistants. All of their faculty will be taught by teachers, faculties, professors, and they know that they're at a teaching university, which means they're there for you as students. Many of the faculty do their own research and get you involved in research, but really they know that they're there primarily to teach, and that's different from some of the large public universities, which are Research One universities. We have a very strong first-year experience program. We'd have a mentor with you in your class, and you get to choose a class where it'd be a cohort where you'd begin to learn and get to know those students and follow your peer mentor with them. So that kind of helps you kind of ease your way into college. There's many student research opportunities both at the undergraduate level and at the master's level. In addition to being a faculty member, I'm also the proud mother of an alum, and my son got to do 3 different research projects while he was an undergraduate at NEIU. We have many success and support programs for students who maybe they're the first one in their family to go to university. And sometimes that can be a little bit daunting. You might not know who to ask the dumb question to. So we have those kinds of programs as well. We have a network of 83,000 alumni, many whom are in the region, which means we have a lot of opportunities to provide internships and for international students, the OPT placements to work after they graduate from NEIU. Like I said, we have over 100 countries represented, and we also have 40+ partner universities around the world, which means it's very easy for you to spend a semester abroad or a year abroad at one of our partner universities. Our faculty also do study tours, taking a small group of maybe 10 of our students in a group to another country to learn on the spot from that experience. For example, our business school took a group of students to Colombia, which is a fast-growing market, to learn about, what is a middle-income country, how does it develop itself. So that's just one example of a study tour. And students also get involved in our annual research and business conferences, some of which they run themselves and some of which they participate with the faculty in. Next slide, Anna, please. Okay, so we offer 48 different bachelor's, majors, and 35 master's programs. Our top undergraduate programs: accounting, business, biology and pre-health, chemistry, community health, computer science, exercise science, environmental science, and environmental studies, and GIS, graphic design, psychology, and social work. Those also mirror out the same pretty much at the graduate level. For the master's programs, we also have a very strong MPH program at the master's level and an MSW program, which are very strong, as well as our computer science program and the other things on this list. Like I said, because we're in Chicago, which is the 3rd largest city in the United States, there's many internship opportunities that are available to our students. We have the McNair Scholars Program, which is we take our best and brightest students who are hoping to go into PhD programs, and we have scholarship money, and we groom them, help them get a publication, help them go to national conferences, help them write PhD applications. So we have a really great track record of getting some of our top students into the most elite universities in the country. An example is we had a student from Brazil last year as an undergraduate biology student. She got a full ride to Yale, right into their PhD program into biomedical research. Chicago Czech Cancer Research is a huge project we're doing with 2 of the research universities in Chicago, and that is looking at differential cancer rates across different ethnic communities in Chicago and what can be done about that and the causes of that. And I already mentioned the faculty-led study tours. Okay, Anna?
Okay, so I'm back to speak about UIS. So UIS is located, as I mentioned earlier, here in the state capital, and because of our location, it really drives a lot of the mission of our institution. It really is the underpinning factor for everything that we do. So our university logo and our promise to you is leadership lived, and our university gives you every opportunity that we can to connect you to those leadership roles and really embed civics into all of the different programs and things that we offer at our institution. So volunteerism, getting involved in the state capitol. We're only about 10 minutes from downtown, right next to this building. So there's a lot of different opportunities to network, a lot of different opportunities to get involved in the different nonprofits or government initiatives that are happening downtown. Listed on this slide is a lot of great statistics, a lot of great profile information for our institution. Honestly, one of my favorite things to talk about is that $7 million in research funding. So kind of like Northeastern Illinois University, we are primarily a teaching college, but we are also able to tap into some of the research funds that come to us because we're part of the University of Illinois system, with our sisters being in Urbana, Champaign, and Chicago. So a lot of those research funds go towards state policy initiatives. So as I mentioned earlier, we have a center on our campus for state policy legislation and advocacy. We also have one of my favorite programs to talk about at UIS is something called the Illinois Innocence Project. If you've never heard of anything like it, what Illinois Innocence Projects do is they open up cases where it looks like someone could be wrongfully convicted. So these students are able to work with a lawyer and a team to be able to go through files, to be able to go through interviews, have interviews, to be able to bring this case back to court. And to date, since this initiative has been launched, there's been 15 people exonerated. Actually, 2 of them, going to be three more pretty soon here. So it's been something that our students have really enjoyed. And unlike most of the Innocence projects nationwide, undergraduate students are able to get involved in. So that's where some of that research funding goes to be able to give you a tangible difference and be able to add and advocate for change in this nation. So that's something that, again, is really imbued into the DNA of UIS. Going to our next slide. Here, UIS does have 31 different bachelor's degrees, 20 master's degrees, and 1 doctoral degree. Of their most popular degrees that we have here at UIS, of course, legal studies, political science, and we do have criminology, criminal justice, and psychology. But we also have a lot of students that come here for computer science, management information systems, and public health. At the undergraduate level, we do have a specialized curriculum. Down here at the bottom, we have something called the Capital Scholars Honors Program. And what this is a cohort of 80 to 90 students that start their schooling together that first year, freshman year, fall, and they have a specialized curriculum. So some of these classes would be a hybrid of maybe your music class and your English class together, or history and psychology together. And they'll be able to take that blended course format to be able to kind of drill more down into that cross-discipline mindset, critical thinking mindset, to be able to give you a lot more out of the courses than you would be if you had taken them separately. They also have a community project. There's, I think it was over 42,000 community service hours were given by students a freshman year last year at UIS, really involved in our communities, as well as the different funding. They have specialized scholarships that are attached to that program as well. So next, we are going to be talking about student experience. So leading off, we're going to be passing this back off to Lise to talk about the student experience at GSU.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, at Governor State, we do have over 80 student organizations that are active on campus. What I really love about the student org life is that if there's something that you would be interested in that we don't offer yet, it's very easy to start your own student organization. Some of my favorite organizations that are on campus are some of the pre-professional ones, like you might want to be in the communications club or the psychology club, but some more fun ones are like the foam fighter club, or even we have a super active anime club. So I think there's a little bit of something for everyone, but if you can't find that one thing and you have some other friends that are interested, we'll definitely work with you to get that established as an organization. We are also part of the NAIA Division Sports program. So we do offer collegiate athletics in both men's and women's basketball, men's and women's volleyball, men's and women's soccer, which was new last year. So that's one of our newer ones. Cross country, golf, and table tennis. So if you are an athlete and you're looking for a team to play on, I would encourage you to check out our athletics page. There's a really nice form on there that says, do you want to be a Jaguar? And you can fill that out and it will go to our athletic director. Even if you're not an athlete yourself, it still adds a nice dimension to campus. All of our games are free for students to attend. Obviously, we're not really having COVID has put a wrench kind of in the athletic seasons this year. Many of them have been moved to the spring semester, so we will see what happens there. We do have some wonderful traditions on campus at GSU. Convocation is a big event that we do the first week of classes every year, which the president speaks at. We actually got a new president this year. Her name is Dr. Cheryl Green, and she comes from us from the University of Wisconsin Systems. So we're very happy to have her here. She just started in July. We also have traditional welcome weeks, homecoming weeks, Spring Fest, and a great program that's called Shiro, which really celebrates like women in leadership, which is a really fun one to attend. I also want to talk briefly about our honors program. So this honors program is offered for both our freshmen and transfer students, but it really looks at how to enhance the classes that you're already taking. So a lot of people kind of hesitate at joining honors programs because they might be like, oh my gosh, it's so much more work. I don't want to put any more stress on myself. That's not what our honors program is about. It's really about adding out-of-campus activities to enhance what you're already doing in the classroom. So they also do some great community building. They've done scavenger hunts through the city before. They've done ropes courses and other fun things. They also have the best study abroad program on campus, in my opinion. They do a yearly trip to Rome for about 2 weeks, where they have lots of opportunities to learn about the Italian culture, but also take short trips into other countries. If Rome isn't your thing, we do have a whole office dedicated to study abroad, and they will work with you and within your major to see what opportunities you have there with all of our sister institutions across these. They also offer research opportunities during your freshman year. Most of our honors program students, like Colton, who's in the Superman shirt on the bottom picture, he actually got to go and present at a national conference regarding, it was kind of like a slant on accounting because that's his major, with some of our faculty members as a freshman. So those are wonderful opportunities there with the honors program. You do have to be invited to be part of the honors program. Our honors program director, who's one of our faculty members in communications, will identify you as a good fit, and we will extend that invitation after admissions. Next slide. Thank you. I just want to talk quickly about campus safety. So remember how I told you all that we were on a prairie? This picture is a great illustration of that. You can see in the background our Prairie Place Residence Hall, which I will speak about in just a minute, but just want to let you know that we are ranked as the #1 safest campus in Illinois, according to niche.com, and 8th safest campus in the United States. And part of that is because we're on this big, 750 acres of land. So the people that are on campus are usually on campus for a reason. So there's not many crimes of opportunity in our area. So it's a nice place where you can really focus on your schoolwork and your friends, and not have to worry so much about your safety on campus, which is a relief for many people. I also want to talk to you a little bit about Prairie Place Residence Hall. It was built in 2014, so it's fairly new and shiny and pretty still. There are 4 different types of suites that are included within that building, from a traditional kind of shared suite, where you would have one roommate and then share a bathroom with 2 other roommates in your room. That's what most of our freshmen choose to do. All the way up to 4-bedroom apartments with full kitchens and living rooms, and beautiful, enormous bathrooms. So there's a little bit of something for everyone there. And if you are interested in seeing what those rooms look like yourself, we're obviously not doing campus tours right now, especially in the residence halls because of COVID-19, but we have some wonderful walkthrough virtual tours of our whole campus and specifically our Prairie Place, so you can get a really good grasp of what it looks like to be in that building. So I would encourage you to check that out. Okay, I'll turn it over to Chris.
Okay, so kind of to go back to the opposite of the prairie, we're in the city, and our tagline is "Learn in the City, Lead in the World." We use the city as our laboratory for internships, as I mentioned, optional practical training years after you graduate where you can work for a company for pay. We are involved in research projects in the city. And of course, the city is there to have a lot of fun on your times off. Chicago brings in 55 million tourists a year. in a typical year for the museums, the art festivals, the art installations, and the sports and the beautiful lakefront and all of those other things. So we really use the city environment that we find ourselves in. We also have a lot of student clubs, over 100. And that's really where you're going to meet people with similar interests. You can take leadership roles and develop your leadership skills. So you have something to build your resume with. And also it's a way to give back to the community. A lot of the students get involved and do projects for the community. So there's lots of different ways to have a social life at NEIU that can be related to the location of the city or with your friends on campus. Anna, can you do the next slide, please? And we also have a new residence hall. It's only 3 years old. It's called The Nest. And it's apartment style living, 4 different bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a common living area. It has 24/7 fitness room just for residents in the Nest, gaming rooms, computers, study rooms. It's right in the center of campus. And oftentimes the food service will bring over boxes of food and do cooking lessons. We are really proud this year. We have a new scholarship program. There's 20 students who are living in the Nest, I believe completely free, and that's a scholarship. And in return, they are taking a special seminar where they're learning about community work and community organizing and being part of a larger community. So that's one of our new scholarship offerings, as well as the George Floyd Scholarship that we've launched. Again, for students who are giving back to their community and would like to learn how to do that better and to get some support doing that. So we're really excited about both of those initiatives. Another thing about our residence hall is we did not close down at all during the COVID pandemic, so no international students were thrown out onto the street, which did happen at some universities across the United States. We even had some students who couldn't get flights back home, and we kept them. We also had 20 units for students who had either lost their income due to COVID or were suffering domestic violence. So these are some of the values that we highlight as a university, and I'm really happy to say that we're walking the talk with our residence hall. Okay, Anna.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, similar to Northeastern Illinois University, we also kept our residence halls open throughout not only the rest of spring 2021, but we also through summer 2021. And right now, at the top here, you'll be able to see just a little bit of a picture of our townhouses. We have 3 different styles of townhouses, houses on campus. So we have residence halls. Our freshmen and sophomore students are required to live on campus, and it's in suite style rooms where it's 2 students to a room, 4 students to a bathroom. So that way there's not a lot of congestion in your bathroom, and it's pretty easy to share. And those residence halls are going to be about a 3 to 4 minute walk from the main buildings where you're going to be taking classes. So there's never ever a reason to be late. Your professors are definitely going to know you, and you're also always going to be able to get where you need to be on time. And we also have 3 or 4 different styles of the apartments. So apartments, each student would have their own bedroom, and each student like 2 bedrooms to 1 bathroom. So within one suite area, there'd be 2 bathrooms and a huge kitchen, a lot of area for storage. So you can all store your food as well as cooking. So it's a really easy, livable campus, very easy to commute. There is parking available even to freshman students. So you can bring your car with you from the get-go. And we're also located in the state capitol. So we're right next to a train line and an airport. So being here in kind of the middle of central Illinois, that's not pretty common, but because of some of the perks of being able to be part of that, not too far away. And also we have an arrangement for institutions. So students who are coming, if you're not coming without a car, don't worry. We do have a student pickup program. So we can pick you up from the airport. We can pick you up from the train station. We want to make sure that you can get here safe, happy, and healthy. Also for safety, located pretty much not in a prairie, but pretty close. We're surrounded by cornfields. Our campus is about 10 minutes from the state capitol, but we own all of the land around our campus for future development. So we've actually sold it out to farms, local farmers, to be able to keep the land productive and healthy in use. So it's also much like GSU, you're not going to be on our campus unless you got a reason to be there. We also have a few different initiatives, a huge Sangamon County like a presentation forum. So there's a lot of different initiatives coming. So Sangamon Presentation Hall. So there are different shows, different things that come to our campus. So even though we're out here, there are different things that are happening. Also, right now, something I'd like to highlight as part of the U of I system, we do have students on campus right now. We are back on a hybrid model, and we are doing weekly testing. The U of I system created a test based on saliva results that is rapid results. So you'll take your test today and you'll get your results tomorrow. It's been incredibly effective this year, being able to mitigate exposure, being able to keep students on campus. We've also told our professors back in June that we were going to be taking our classes remote after November. So after Thanksgiving, all of the classes for the last 2 weeks are going to be remote, just to mitigate a little bit more of that exposure. So that's something that's really exciting that's happening on our campus that is very like we're being able to be tapped into that system, the U of I system, being able to offer that to our students and be able to mitigate and keep our students safe, being able to tap into, there's also an app that's associated with it. So if you look it up, you can see where like confirmed cases are too as well. So that's something that we're really excited to be able to offer. We do have a like really well-developed safety system on our campus as well. So we have campus police that are trained as well as trained operators. So it is a pretty safe campus, pretty accessible, pretty small, similar to the other institutions that I mentioned today. So for student life, there is a lot going on our campus. As mentioned, the Sangamon Auditorium that has a lot of different shows that come, as well as different clubs, over 100 different clubs. I think the last number was somewhere around 130. One of the most active student clubs would be a lot of academic clubs. We do have Greek life here on campus that are more a little bit academically inclined. So they're really involved in volunteerism, really involved in leadership initiatives here on campus. We have a lot of different clubs that are related to intramural sports, but we are also NCAA Division II. So we have 15 different athletic teams. We're really excited. Last year, both our men and women's baseball and softball teams made it all the way to nationals. So and the men's won. So that was really exciting. We're really proud of all of the different accomplishments. And also being Division II athletic teams means that you can stack your academic and your other scholarships. So we have a lot of opportunities. So I know we're running close to the end of our time. So I want to be able to get us to our last slides here, just talking about financial aid. I know that we've all mentioned a few different scholarships, but let's find out a little bit more about money. I'll pass it off to you, Lise.
Thank you so much. I'll try to be quick here. So our undergraduate tuition for our in-state students, which is also applies to our Indiana residents, is at $313 per credit hour. So the total for tuition is $9,390 based on you being a full-time student. We have some additional student fees, which brings your total for tuition and fees up to $12,616. You can actually, there's a wonderful tuition estimator on our website. So if you want to break it down and see what that really looks like for you, I would encourage you to do that. I do want to talk really quickly about scholarships because there's some timely ones that are out there right now. So our big merit-based scholarships, which are called our presidential, provost, and dean's level scholarships, are what we can consider our high merit for the year. So the presidential is a full ride scholarship, housing, book awards, the whole 9 yards. And then the provost and deans are still pretty substantial awards at $8,000 and $7,000, which it would be, half your tuition, so if not more. So that being said, you do need to apply to the university by November 10th. That is your deadline. And then if we feel like you would be a good fit for that scholarship, we will send out invitations shortly after that for you to submit applications. You do have to submit some letters of recommendation and a personal statement as well. And there is an interview process, but those are the best awards for freshmen on campus. So don't let that November 10th date fly by you. Aim high. So along with the other state institutions in Illinois, we are able to offer our students what we call the Aim High Scholarship, which is up to $6,000 renewable scholarship for up to 4 years. That is stackable with the provost and the dean's scholarship. So with those two things alone, if you're not living on campus, you could definitely cover your full cost of tuition and fees. That is not something you need to apply for. We base that specifically off of your application, and you will get that information if you might be eligible for that award right at the time of admission. So no extra work you need to do for that one. We also offer foundation scholarships. So these are scholarships that donors reach out to us and say, we would like to give a scholarship to someone who lives in this community, or we'd like to give a scholarship to someone in this major. So there's a lot of variability in them. So you can check out the website to see what is out there right now. They haven't posted them yet for this year. They usually post them early February for the class that's entering in fall 21. So we will definitely alert you once those scholarships become available. All those scholarships are stackable. So if hypothetically, you could get the provost, an AIM High scholarship, and maybe a foundation scholarship as well. So we also will work with you with any outside scholarships. So if you have one for mom and dad's work, or you have like a civic scholarship, our financial aid office will definitely work with you to get that on your account. Next.
Okay, so at NEIU, we have those are the tuition rates up at the top, in-state tuition per credit hour, and then the amount if you took 5 courses a semester for the year, and same thing for out-of-state, which is the rate that international students would pay. These are really average rates kind of across the United States for tuition at a public university. We also have very many different kinds of scholarships. About 70% of all of our students who attend are on some kind of scholarship, and there's the list of them there. A lot of them come through our foundation. One of the interesting ones, the Brummel Doctoral Scholarship, that's given to a student that's going to a doctoral program, and even though we don't have doctoral programs, we send the money with the student to help them do a doctoral program somewhere else. So if you go through the program and you think you're going on permanently, this is a great scholarship to get. The other thing I would say is that in terms of graduate students, we have graduate assistantships. Each program gives out several graduate assistantships, which are full ride for tuition, plus the opportunity to work on campus for 20 hours a week. So this is really a good opportunity for international students who otherwise have a difficult time working while they're going to school. Those are probably some of our most lucrative scholarships. And of course, we have the Presidential Scholarship, which is a full ride scholarship. And again, I'd like to mention the George Floyd scholarships, which really have to do with students who want to give back to their community. So we're recognizing those students in a special way because we know they are giving back, so we want to give to them. So we have scholarships. You need to apply by March 1st to be eligible for all the scholarships for the next fall. Let's turn it back to you, Anna.
Okay, so just kind of wrap up because I know we have a few different things here. So right here listed at the top of the presentation is our tuition rate per hour. Much like the other institutions, we do offer out-of-state, and we actually have an out-of-state grant. There is a certain pool of money, so the sooner that you apply, the sooner you're able to get that. We don't actually have a deadline for when it ends because it's just when the money ends, the scholarship ends, like the out-of-state grant ends. So it is possible if you are a U.S. citizen or permanent resident living outside of the state of Illinois to be able to apply for that out-of-state grant if you meet the GPA qualification. So at the very end of this, I'm going to pop up our information. You can email me for more. We do have merit-based scholarships. Earlier during the presentation, I was searching for a word. It was AIM High. For some reason, it was escaping me, but we do have our AIM High scholarships, and we've actually thrown some extra money in that for our merit-based scholarships. These are offered all throughout the year. So when you apply, you're automatically considered for one of these scholarships. We have our Lincoln Scholarship, and then we also have the Honors Scholarship. So the Honors Program does have that deadline of May 1st. Institutional scholarships, quite similar to the other two institutions that just spoke. Those are going to become available pretty soon here in about a month. And then we have a deadline of those at February 15th. So if you apply before then, or even if you haven't applied just yet, you can apply for those scholarships for consideration. Something that's really exciting and I always love to tell if you happen to be on here and you're looking for a graduate program, we have something called the Graduate Public Service Internship. That is opportunity to work at a state agency, get a full tuition waiver, as well as a stipend, as well as our graduate assistantships. So I am going to just throw up our contact information here at the end of this presentation. Thank you so much for sticking with us, and we hope to hear from you. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Anna, Chris, and Lise, everyone who's with us. So thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Know that the session was being recorded, so you can come back. And if you are taking notes or anything, you can absolutely come back to the recorded session. Thank you so much for joining us today. And if you do have any questions, please reach out to one of the representatives.
Thank you.
Thanks for attending. Bye-bye.
Yeah.